Hello, this is Kelvin Simmons. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope your Thanksgiving Day turns out the way you want it to be. The title of this short video is Fraudsters and Scammers. They are waiting for you. In other words, be aware, fraudsters and scammers, they're out there looking for you all the time. Just during this holiday season, just advice, be vigilant. Make sure you watch your surroundings. Make sure you lock your cars up. Make sure you don't have those gifts, those presents, other valuables sitting in your motor vehicle where someone can just pass by, look at it, and accept the opportunity to take what you have in there. So here's some notes here. Never click on unfamiliar websites. The interesting thing is the website can look familiar to you, and you still may want to stay away from it because it may just be something that's doing what they call phishing, or phishing. I think that's how you spell it. It's where it looks so similar and appears so real that you think that's the real thing. An example is my short story. I went online to pay my electric bill. I'll even call the company name, Tampa Electric Company, here in Hillsborough County, Florida. I didn't even pay the bill that time. I saw that they were offering a $150 rebate if I paid that bill. Now, granted, I'll share. It was not my electric bill. It was my church electric bill. Since I'm the business manager, I make sure the bills are paid. So I saw that offer, and it sounded really good to me, so I brought it back to two members that work in the office at the church. And they were like, yeah, sure, use your credit card and get that discount. That sounds like a good deal. Well, I did it, and it turns out it was not a good deal. That was an example of they didn't send me the message, and I clicked on it. I went back to the site and re-engaged with one of their representatives, and I accepted their offer for that discount. Well, I learned that when a scammer scams you, I might as well tell you right now, they took me for almost $1,000. And the interesting thing to me is they weren't satisfied with that. But let me digress. They actually sent a payment to Tampa Electric Company because I checked it that next day to make sure it was done, and the payment was there. But when TCO tried to retrieve the funds, that's when it turned out that they learned at TCO that it was a fraud. They might not have known it was a fraud, but they knew that the payment was no good. And that's when I had to contact my credit union, contact TCO. But that doesn't get you your money back. That's what you need to keep in mind. You may not get your money back, but you do need to immediately notify your institution where you have your credit card from. So you need to let your credit card fraud department know right away. But the interesting thing was, by the time I learned of the fraudulent activity, it was when I got my credit card statement. Well, by that time, the fraudsters had tried one more time. They had charged another $600. But since my credit card had been stopped, you know how you void them so they're no longer any good. So I no longer had that credit card number. As a matter of fact, I didn't even have a credit card that was active anymore because of the fraud. But they had tried anyway. You would think that would be enough. Well, they used it to purchase a new cell phone. This when I first became alerted when the credit card company advised me. They wanted to know, did I purchase those items. Then there was one other one. So that's what I'm getting at is they weren't satisfied with just taking me or you for one time. They were going to use my information as long as they could go. As long as there was some room on that credit card for them to charge, they were going to charge it. And I'm telling this story so that you may be more vigilant than you normally are with checking your balances. I know some people probably check them morning, noon, and night. That's a good idea. That's what I learned. It's a good idea. Make sure you do those things. Make constant contact via the internet because you can do online banking. So monitor your account balances. But anyway, back to the people. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they tried to charge over $1,000 through their TICO scam. That's what I call it, Tampa Electric Company scam, where they will pretend they're making the payment to Tampa Electric, but they take the money from your credit card or from my credit card. But it only showed up as a return payment because they didn't have the proper information at that time. But they even tried to get my checking account numbers. Isn't that interesting? They even tried to get that information. That's what I learned from one of the people who they tried to scam me through, one of the companies, that they used the credit card and they tried to charge something with checking account information, but apparently they weren't able to get the proper checking account information. So be aware. There are people who are sitting around right now figuring out how to take your assets. It's your job to make sure they don't take your assets. And since I told you that story, I'll give you one more. I'm going to try to do this in like a minute. I have a close relative, a first cousin. 2 months ago, they took all of her money out of her account. She didn't have money to pay her electric bill, water bill, car note, rent. She was up the proverbial creek. They took all of her stuff. So she had to change accounts because that was not the first time that it had happened to her while she was banking with that particular institution. So you can have people that work at the institutions, meaning the banks or the credit union, and they can take your information, sell it, or use it themselves. And it takes a while for them to get caught. But in the meantime, they've taken your stuff and you're suffering. I'm going to tell you, when it happens to you, you will learn what I mean when I say you will be suffering, because it impacts your credit. It impacts your credit. I know it sounds like I'm saying the same thing, but it affects you. It hurts you financially. And you may even think, well, why they did this to me? Why? Because they want your money. They want your assets. So I've rambled enough on that, but I came up with some, I'm going to call them maybe some silly ways to keep people from taking your money. Don't have credit cards. Or if you're going to have a credit card, have a low limit one. Like $500. You could just be poor. And you just have to make sure you get to your money in the bank before they get to it, but you never have a large balance there. And for those of us who use the internet, change your password. Make sure you change your password on a routine basis. And sometimes you might want to change your banks or your banking institutions. Just change them. Because once they get a hold to your stuff, when I say your stuff, your information that can get them to your assets, you might find yourself assetless, meaning you may not have assets or you will have less assets. So thank you, and we'll count this as a public service alert or announcement. And please give me a like, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. That will motivate me to do more videos. Thank you. Bye.